Coming up on UT Today, a spark of hope as more vaccinations continue in the state.
Plus, as COVID continues to keep folks at home, some are now resorting to new hobbies and trades.
And later, we give you a look at a track star who is dominating the field and making Rocky Top her new home.
That and more coming up on UT Today.
Hello and thank you for joining us this Sunday for UT Today. I'm Bryce Oselen.
And I'm Nia Myrthill. More than a year after the first COVID-19 cases were reported and the coronavirus was declared a pandemic, there is now a light at the end of the tunnel, a vaccine. While this creates a sense of hope for many, there is still more research to be done. Peyton Roberts, the head pharmacist at the UT Student Health Clinic, says that the discoveries in the research will determine our future.
I think we've got to see what the science is on this first dose first. We don't know how long this immunity is going to last us. Is it going to last us 6 months? Is it going to last us a year? Is it something that we're going to have an annual booster for every year?
Roberts advises everyone to get the vaccine as soon as they are eligible, because the ultimate goal right now is to try and return to a sense of normalcy. Until then, masks, social distancing, and disinfecting are vital to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
Nia, you're right. Disinfecting is really important, especially for restaurants and other local businesses. Cleanliness is one of the vital ways that they can stay open during the pandemic. I took a trip down to Sunspot to talk to them about how they've been able to stay sunny despite the challenges they face from COVID-19.
We're being as safe as possible.
Jack Francis is a bartender at Sunspot on Cumberland Avenue. Although he loves his job, he admits business is slower than usual these days.
Half capacity in the restaurant, you're not going to be able to get as many people in. We were closed for 2 months.
Sunspot closed its doors in March due to the pandemic. General Manager Cody Cothran says it had to be done.
Business just went south bad. We were losing money left and right, so we closed.
According to Mayor Ken Cannon, the city of Knoxville has invested nearly $6 million to help local businesses. And with a new COVID-19 relief package on the horizon, restaurants will be able to continue serving delicious food like this. As Sunspot reopens its doors, Cody says his customers' safety is a top priority.
Follow the 50% guidelines, so we're skipping every other table. And if it's not safe, we encourage people to sit outside and eat.
For UT Today, I'm Bryce Oselen.
History is being made on UT's campus. UT ended Black History Month on a high note when the Board of Trustees agreed to the renaming of campus dorms Orange and White Hall to honor 2 African-American trailblazers. Reporter Nina Howard tells us the story behind these names.
On February 25th, at the Board of Trustees virtual meeting, members agreed to rename dorm halls Orange and White in honor of 2 African-American trailblazers, Theodis Robinson Jr., the first African-American student admitted into UT, and Rita Sanders Geyer, who is known for her work in making higher education more available for students of color. With the work of UT faculty members and a student leader, these 2 pioneers are getting their flowers.
Student leader Maria Urias, senior at the university, noticed despite Mr. Robson's contributions, the only thing to honor him is an underpass to the interstate. This sparked action for her.
And I reached out to Dean Smith of UTK Libraries, and I was like, hey, Dean Smith, I was just wondering, I'm a student senator, and I think it would be really cool if we could honor Mr. Theodis by renaming something in the library for him.
According to the Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Engagement, Tyvee Small, at the same time Maria was having her conversations with UTK Libraries, he, the Office of Student Life Vice Chancellor Frank Cuevas, and his predecessor were also looking for naming opportunities for Orange and White Halls. This led to the 2 collaborating.
We had a committee that really looked at naming opportunities of buildings on our campus. And while we didn't find very many any problematic building names per se, what we did realize is that we had a lack of recognition for historically underrepresented members of our community who were trailblazers.
After a written memo to the Chancellor's Cabinet, it was decided to take the initiative to the Board of Trustees, who then decided to rename the dorms.
But to know that I had like a little bit of a hand kind of like nudging us that way and just giving that idea really makes me very excited and very hopeful, not only for the renaming itself, but just for students to be empowered to like reach out and be like, hey, this might be crazy, but like you never know how far an email can go.
Though there has not been a set date for the renaming ceremony, the university looks to its past to improve the future.
By no means is this an end all. We're not, putting the cap on the bottle and saying, hey, we're done now. But this really is a first step in looking at ways that we can honor people who have been trailblazers in a number of ways.
Reporting for UT Today, I'm Nina Howard.
Both Mr. Robertson and Ms. Geyer are native Tennesseans, which is part of what makes this an honorable dedication.
And coming up on UT Today, students are learning new ways to plant themselves into new hobbies. We'll tell you how and more coming up after this break.
Welcome back. For most students, their first job to tackle when coming to college is moving in. However, that was not the case for new first-year student Nicholas Gilchrist, who just days before moving in learned that his unit needed to report for duty at the presidential inauguration in just a few days.
It's actually like putting together meetings and stuff with counselors when I got the email, and it was basically saying, okay, we need you guys to come report in, and it was like 2 days later. So we just had to show up and get all of our gear and all that.
Gilchrist spent a total of 6 days in D.C. serving our country at the inauguration and is now settled back in on campus. We will have more on Gilchrist in our show next week.
GameStop stock rose 40% on Monday, the highest closing level since the beginning of February. But does that mean you should invest? Reporter Cameron Morgan Rumsey gives us an inside look on what happened with GameStop stock and what investing now would look like.
You've probably been hearing a lot about the stock market and that store behind me, GameStop. But what really happened? I spoke with a UT finance expert to get a quick explainer.
Early this year, a group of online stock traders from the website reddit.com managed to cause some turbulence in the markets. UT finance professor Eric Kelly says what happened here all has to do with a process called shorting.
And so as most people think about a traditional stock investment, you're going to buy a stock, you're going to hold it for some period, and then you're going to sell it later. Well, short selling just flips the timing of that around. And so the way a short sale works is you sell first, and then you buy the shares later.
Dr. Kelly says short selling is basically like borrowing a stock you don't own, buying it for a low price, and then selling it back to the original owners. It's a little confusing, but it all comes down to this. Short sellers want stock prices to fall.
And so with a short seller, if the price goes down, right, while the short sell position is open, then the short seller is going to make money. But if the price goes up, then the short seller is going to get killed, right?
When a shorted stock price goes up, the short seller becomes responsible for paying the owners lots of money.
And so we had this Reddit group that had a very large following that just said, hey, let's buy at the same time. And lots and lots and lots of people did.
Prices skyrocketed, and some people made lots of money. Others, however, really didn't.
Dr. Kelly said that while some managed to come out ahead, most people ended up losing up to hundreds per share. The takeaway? Don't invest in GameStop right now, no matter what you're hearing.
Reporting in Knoxville, I'm Cameron Morgan Rumsey.
Well, if you don't want investing as a hobby, maybe you should try gardening. UT Today reporter Courtney Cox spoke to the owner of Oglewood Avenue Plant Boutique about how gardening and keeping plants has become one of the fastest growing hobbies for young adults and college students.
Despite COVID taking away social interactions, it has not taken away hobbies. From drawing massive portraits to ice sculptures, everybody is finding new ways to keep themselves happy. The latest hobby? Planting. I had the chance to speak with owner of Oakwood Avenue Plant Boutique about why that may be the case.
A lot of indoor gardeners, I think specifically because of COVID and because of the pandemic, people do want a new hobby. So some people may take up things that they may have not thought they were going to take up before, and indoor houseplants have kind of been something that's been popular for the last year or so. So there's tons of people who have just started their plant experience, and we kind of help them with the right plant for them. We help them pick one that's kind of the best lighting, the best for their lifestyle, some sort of ease.
With its creativity and cost effectiveness, nearly anyone can be a plant parent. I had the chance to speak with Christian Sinclair, who started his new hobby last spring.
You're just pretty much bored, and you get tired doing the same thing every day. And when I picked up the plant hobby, it was really helpful because you see a little change every day, and growth and watering them and taking time and your patience and whatnot.
Whether you're into small plants or big plants, Oakwood Avenue has everything you need to start your plant parenthood. Reporting from Oakwood Avenue for UT Today, I'm Courtney Cox.
And coming up on UT Today, a look into our segment, Meet the Vols. We introduce you to a track star who is dominating the field and making Rocky Top her new home. That's coming up next, so stick around.
Hey everybody, welcome back to UT Today with Sports. I'm Joseph Staton. On this week's Meet the Vols segment, Nia Myrthill introduces us to a record-holding SEC champion sprinter.
Hi, I'm Nia Myrthill with Meet the Vols, and I'm here to talk about the redshirt sophomore who became the first Lady Vol to ever win an indoor 60-meter conference title. Joella Lloyd clocked 7.15 seconds for a first-place finish, which ties former Lady Vol Courtney Champion's record, who ran 7.15 at the 2007 SEC Indoor Championships. So join us in meeting our fellow Lady Vol to get to know her not only on the track, but a little bit of what she looks forward to off the track as well.
Joella came to Tennessee all the way from her home country, Antigua and Barbuda. At only 16 years old, Tennessee was the first university to offer her, and she didn't hesitate to make Rocky Top her new home.
It was difficult at first because I missed home. I've never been on my own, and I basically functioned from my parents, but after a while I got used to it, and now I'm here.
After being settled here on Rocky Top for only 2 years now, Lloyd is very excited that she's finally accomplished what she has always knew she was capable of.
I was relieved because last year I didn't make it to the finals and I missed out by a millisecond. And this time I made it to the finals to actually win it this year. I was relieved and I was pleased with myself.
The Antigua native certainly knows how to handle herself in competition, and it has something to do with her major.
I'm majoring in psychology with a minor in business. And after UT, I expect to, become a sports psychologist.
But what does this speedster like to do in her free time?
I like to play Uno. I like to watch Netflix.
And guess what her favorite Netflix show is currently?
Bridgerton.
Yes, that's right. The Lady Vol track star is loving the popular Netflix series Bridgerton. And what meal does Lloyd enjoy after a hard workout or race?
This is a tricky one. I would say shrimp pasta.
From UT Today, this is Nia Myrthill reporting.
Well, Lloyd is just one of many Vols who had a successful indoor season and one of many to watch as the outdoor season is just around the corner. Well, last Sunday was senior night for the Tennessee men's basketball team. Forwards Eve Pons and John Fulkerson were recognized in front of a reduced crowd in Thompson Bowling. After a second-half comeback to beat Florida 65-54, an emotional Fulkerson reflected on his 5 years on Rocky Top.
What was going through my mind was really just all the memories that I've had here, all the relationships that I've made, all the people I've got to meet, and I really can't put it into words because it's memories that I'll remember forever, and relationships that I'll remember forever, and really a big thanks to a lot of people, and my coaches, my teammates, I really can't really put into words what my time here at Tennessee has meant. But before I leave, I've got a lot of people to thank, to let them know how much of an impact that they've had on me, and that hopefully I can continue to keep that impact going for me to other people.
Well, basketball and football are some well-known sports at the university, but did you know that Tennessee has a hockey team? Katie Prefer introduces us to the Ice Falls.
The Ice Falls are University of Tennessee's club hockey team. They were founded in 1966 and have made many appearances in the SEC HC tournament and in the national tournament.
We're a club hockey team. We hold practice just as much as most teams practice at the university, but we just don't get the funding. But we're proud of who we are, and we're working for a championship this year.
I'm here at the Knoxville Coliseum, where the Ice Falls practice every Tuesday and Thursday and host their home games. I spoke with freshman Matt Magazzini and senior John Clark about what being an Ice Fall means to them.
I just love the group of guys we have here. We're really close. Obviously we're here hanging out. It's just a friendship and a family that we have going.
I'm more of a glue guy. I'm all about the team chemistry in the locker room, and I think that's one of the most important things is just building relationships off the ice and fighting for each other.
Matt Magazzini has the rest of his college years to be a part of the Ice Falls, and he has specific goals that he wants his team to accomplish during his time here.
My goal is, as a team, I think we have a lot of potential. We're a pretty young team. I think we have the talent to do well in the SEC.
The Ice Falls kicked off their season last month, and you can check out their schedule and more on icefallshockey.com. Katie Prefer, UT Today.
Thank you, Katie. The Ice Falls take on Liberty University and Knoxville Civic Coliseum in their next game. Well, the UT dance team is looking to repeat as national champions, and with the finals coming up soon, Grace Levinsky has the story.
With the COVID-19 taking a toll with sports across the world, College Dance Nationals is still on. Let's take a look on how your Tennessee dance team is preparing for a back-to-back first-place championship.
We have a pretty rigorous schedule right now, so we are practicing Tuesday and Thursday from 8 to 10 a.m. We lift Monday and Wednesday from 8 to 9 a.m. and then we practice Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, some weekends from 4 to 9 p.m.
As a previous national champion, Claire Skipper speaks on her leadership role.
As a junior on the team, I know the expectations and the standards that our coaches have, so I try to lead by example and encourage the younger team members to follow in our footsteps.
Even with the pandemic taking a toll, expectations and standards are set high.
Although this year has looked a little different due to COVID, I expect that we will get top 3 in all 3 divisions that we compete in.
Gracie Fontaine says mental preparation is important for a successful performance.
I think we're trying to not let the idea of the fact that we have targets on our back now overwhelm us. I think we're trying to just keep the underdog mentality and just prepare as usual, but also come in with a lot of fight because we know we can do it again.
College Dance Nationals starts on April 27th. Make sure to support your Tennessee dance team. I'm Grace Levinsky with UT Today.
Thank you, Grace. Now that is going to wrap up sports on UT Today this week. I'm Joseph Staton. Coming up, hear about a sailor who caught something that was not a fish.
Welcome back to UT Today, and this is going to be the cutest story you hear all week. The Royal Thai Navy is being praised for the heroic swoop to save some furry friends trapped on a boat. The vessel was in flames and had been abandoned after its crew members were rescued. Sailors were on the scene examining the capsized boat for oil spills when they had spotted the castaway kittens. One of the sailors dived into action by jumping in the water and swimming roughly 50 feet to the boat, carrying the kittens on his back. The Navy later shared video of the crew members playing with the lost litter.
An 18-year-old high school senior has won $25,000 in her first time playing the Kansas lottery. Sloan Stanley decided to try her luck while at work at a grocery store in the city of Meridian, and it paid off big time. She paid $5 for the scratch-off, and 4 days after she turned 18, to her surprise, she had won the lottery. Stanley says she'll use the money to help pay for her college. She hopes it would help her graduate without debt.
Wow, I just wish that were me. I know when I had my first lottery ticket, I won absolutely nothing. So that's insane.
That's very responsible of her. I think I would have went to the mall and bought a suit or something. I would have just splurged on myself.
Me too. I would have bought a whole new wardrobe. It would have been awesome. The quick service restaurant is becoming a self-service restaurant once the pandemic ends. Steak and Shake's parent company, Bilgari Holdings, says it will install self-serve kiosks in dining rooms that will allow customers to place and pick up their own orders. Renovations and equipment will cost each restaurant $100,000 to $200,000. So Steak and Shake, that is not really my go-to restaurant, but I love their Frisco melt for sure.
Got you. I'm a big fan of their milkshakes. I think the M&M peanut butter one.
Okay.
I think that's the one I like, especially with fries. That's a go-to.
The fries and the milkshake is really what makes it. But that's going to do it this morning on UT Today. Make sure you check us out on social media. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all things UT Today.
Also, let us know on our social media pages what you would do with $25,000. I think I would love to spend it on maybe a Ferrari or something.
A Ferrari?
Like that.
Oh,
Vroom,
I would definitely love a new car. No, for sure. I think maybe, like I said, I love clothes, but maybe just a whole brand new thing of shoes. I just want a bunch of shoes just to go with my clothes from winning the lottery.
I love how neither one of us mentioned about paying the debt for college. I love that.
Absolutely not. You know, I want to be responsible, but we got to be realistic. And we'd like to end the show with scenes from Pigeon Forge.
Thanks for joining, and we will see you again next week.